Welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's Dealer On webinar, the 4 costly follow-up mistakes that you can fix right now. My name is Eliana Raggio, and I'll be your moderator today. And today's webinar is being presented by Dealer On. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Dealer On, well, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, and we're best known for our amazing SEO, the absolute best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the brand new Chameleon responsive website platform. I'm thrilled to announce that Dealer On has been once again named as a top-rated website provider in the 6th Annual Driving Sales Dealer Satisfaction Awards, and we also won the Pinnacle Award from AWA. And for more information on who we are and what we do, please check us out at our gorgeous brand new Dealer On website at dealeron.com. You can also visit us at the upcoming Digital Dealer Convention in Tampa, Florida at booth 300. I hope to see you there. And we have a great show in store for today. We're very pleased to have TODD SMITH as our presenter today. TODD SMITH is the co-founder and chief executive officer at ActivEngage, the automotive industry's leading live chat service provider. He has over 20 years of successful industry experience and has worked in every facet of dealership operations, including a year as the general manager of a Chevrolet dealership. TODD has developed some of the most cutting-edge e-business, BDC, and showroom sales strategies and solutions for a variety of clients, including Ford, Ford of Canada, AutoNation, Budget Car Sales, Maritz Inc., Mazda North America, Toyota Motor Sales, ADP, Autotrader.com, and over 1,500 dealerships across the U.S. TODD is a highly respected member of the automotive community, and he can be reached at todd@activengage.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located on the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, well, we're going to try and respond to you by email later today. Also, don't forget, a link to download a copy of the webinar recording is also going to be emailed to you later today for your reference, and please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. Ooh, and guess what? Our good friends at ActivEngage are giving away an incredible prize to one lucky attendee today on the webinar. ActivEngage's team is going to secretly shop your dealership by submitting various leads through sources such as your website, live chat, and third parties. And based on the follow-up correspondence ActivEngage receives from your team, a detailed report will be provided that includes screenshots of the emails received, details of processes that can be improved upon, and emails that just rocked it. This undercover experience is valued at $599. It's a great prize for your dealership, but you have to be on the live broadcast to win it, though, so stay tuned, and you could be the one walking away with this tremendous prize today. Also, at the conclusion of this webinar, you're going to receive a short survey, so fill it out because we're always looking for great feedback from our audience. Today, we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all those completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. So let's get started. Let's learn the 4 costly follow-up mistakes that you can fix right now. TODD SMITH, so nice to have you back on the show. How are you?
I am doing great. I am ready to follow up on some email and chats and everything else that comes into the dealership today.
I got to tell you, this is a great topic that you chose because while everyone follows up, I think that most dealerships believe that all follow-ups are kind of the same, but they most certainly are not. So I didn't even know you could make 4 costly follow-up mistakes. I thought maybe of 1, possibly 1.5, but you say that there are 4 that you can fix right now, and I know me and a lot of other people are excited to learn them. So where do we start? What are the kinds of things we're going to be learning about today?
We are going to learn about some really awesome stuff today, kind of have it broken down very simply with our objectives, really understanding what consumers expect from you. And I think it's one of the first things at ActivEngage, we have offices here in Orlando as well as Las Vegas. We're doing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of chat conversations on a monthly basis, and we really get to get a pulse of what consumers expect by the questions they continually ask us all the time. So we've been able to identify that, plus some other what we consider follow-up mistakes that we see typically getting made over and over again inside dealerships. We'll talk about really email content for your follow-up. We'll also talk about just how to really exceed that customer expectation. I think that's one of the critical components to being successful now being a dealership in this kind of competitive market. And, we'll have some time for some Q&A later on as well. So I'm just ready to dig in here and have some fun today and talk about something that, honestly I've been passionate about for a long, long time, far beyond when ActivEngage even existed. I think learning to engage your consumers really help meet their needs, get them into the showroom, ultimately sell them vehicles, and then ultimately service them post that initial sale to really keep that relationship going. And now we live in the age of digital commerce where that's not only possible, it's the only way to go.
I love everything that you're saying. We're very excited to hear everything. And audience, if you have questions that you want answered by the one and only Todd Smith of ActivEngage, please don't hesitate to send those in. We're going to get to those at the very end of the presentation. And if you are going to be tweeting out any of this awesome knowledge that Todd's going to drop on all of us today, please let us in on it too. It's at Eliana Raggio, hashtag DealerOnWebby, and you can also see at the bottom of the screen, it's also at ActivEngage. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing what you're going to tweet out about. And Todd, take it away.
Well, thank you, and here we go to have some fun. Now, I wanted to start with the first thing is really that consumer expectations. Believe it or not, quick response is a critical component. I think we live in this world of Google where I could go on, whether my phone, my iPad, my computer, I could ask Google a question, I could get an answer in less than a second, right? And I could probably get a million results would come back. Now, not all of them are accurate for what I searched for, but the top ones will be relevant. And inside of that, understanding the quick response to whether it's a live chat, phone call, email coming in are critical. And you almost have to think just as if someone walked into your showroom, right? If someone walks in and you waited 5 minutes to greet them or 10 minutes to greet them, it would change the course of how that transaction is probably going to happen. And now we live in this digital age, we have to kind of think in terms that consumers, just like you or me, we go online, we want to get these instant answers. We want to be able to have that knowledge to take the next step, to move on. So our goal is to create a quick response system for the dealership now. I think it's probably one of the most critical things you'll do is step one, and it's something a lot of times we are just taking for granted and not really focusing on. We'll just like, oh, I'm getting leads in, I'll get to them when I get to them. But the reality is, think about that response time as a critical component. The other thing is really what we consider under the consumer expectations, answering the questions. You don't have to answer all of the questions because some might be not relevant if the course of the question path changes. But I think it's critical to establish connectivity with the shopper and create a bond. And bonds happen when you give and you create that back and forth with the shopper. Whether it's chat, email, phone, you have to give to get. And I kind of look at this critical component as a banking relationship. And what I mean by that, if I were to walk into, let's say, Bank of America and I demanded money, just walked in and said, I want money, I'd basically be robbing the place, right? I have no investment into Bank of America. I don't use it. So
just to be sure, you're not thinking of doing that anytime soon, are you?
I'm not robbing banks today. But for this awesome example, what I'm saying is if you walked into Bank of America and demanded money, you'd be arrested. That's robbing the bank, right? You have no vested interest. Now, if I were to make deposits into that bank over the course of the previous 3 or 4 weeks, and I walked in and asked for money, what's going to happen? Bank's more than happily going to give me some of my money. So this dynamic of a relationship has to happen to effectively move shoppers into the showroom to sell them cars. And what I mean by that is make deposits, make little investments into the shopper during these critical points where they call you, where they email you, where they chat with you. Whatever these, what I consider digital footprint connection spots, let's use them to make deposits. Answer a question, but then ask a question, so you're always in control. This allows us to control the process and move shoppers through the experience. A much more effective way than just trying to send customers back tons of data and overkill them, or not answer any of their questions and just expect them to take the next step. we need to kind of baby step shoppers through the process. We also need to look for why should they buy from you. You know, this is what I consider a critical component as well. You know, you have to look at how you're going to differentiate yourself versus the competition. Everybody can give pricing information, but what alternate things can you offer? What additional service opportunities? What can you go beyond the average to incentivize a shopper to connect with you? Because the reality is, if you can get the shopper to connect with you personally, much more likely to do business with you. You know, stats have been around since I can remember, probably in late 80s, 90s, where studies that have been done that people buy partly because of the product, but more importantly, over 70% of the people bought because they liked the person they were doing business with. They trusted the person. They had a connection with them. People buy your trust, and that's an important thing. So when we're looking to set the stage for getting consumers into the door, we want to ensure we've set the personal stage by connecting with them on a human level. You know, great, Robert Cialdini is probably one of my favorite guys. He's written a few books about human psychology, and one of the examples he always leads in there, a young kid came to his door to sell jamboree tickets for the Boy Scouts. Now, obviously, Robert goes, no, I'm not interested in any jamboree tickets, and all of a sudden the kid goes, well, sir, I completely understand you probably aren't interested in going to the Boy Scout jamboree, but I also have these Hershey bars that are $1 a piece. How many would you like? And he bought 2 Hershey bars, turns around, shuts the door, opens up the door and goes, oh my gosh, this kid got me. The reality was, people can say no to someone once. It gets increasingly difficult to continue to say no to somebody that they like or have some fondness to. And we would all have some fond memory of some Boy Scout or someone we would want to help out. So here was a real reality where the Boy Scout was probably not even trying to sell the jamboree tickets. He was always just out there selling the Hershey bars. So, you know, looking at that, to me, is one of these points. How are you going to make yourself stand out? How are you going to make your customer want to buy from you? And another thing that comes along with this is really creating that customer service, like 101 environment. Consumers have a much higher expectation. They want to come first, and they want to feel important. So you have to look at what you can do to make the shopper feel important. It could be the littlest thing, believe it or not. Consumers engage with just that one little extra piece of information of, oh, if you're driving here from that direction, here's not only the link to the MapQuest, but since you're coming from work and maybe you want to stop at a Starbucks for a coffee because you said it's been a long day, here's a spot to stop. These little extra steps, what I call concierge level service, can have a profound impact. It does take a little extra time, but it's worth it at every single step. So, as we go to this next slide, Eliana, I need your assistance for an awesome poll question.
I just want the audience to know I dared him to sing that part, and he did. Darn it. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. You made me cry with happiness. All right, audience, your first of 3 poll questions is on the screen now. We'd love it if you would get involved and let us know what's happening at your dealership. So here's the question for you. What do you think is the most costly follow-up fail? We want your opinion now. So please select one of the following answers. Do you think the most costly follow-up fail is when one is too slow to respond, that emails are too long, that we're not providing value within the email response, that personalization, we try it, but, you know, we're not good at it or it just doesn't work? Or do you think it's all about the subject line? We want to know what your opinion is. What do you think is the most costly follow-up fail? Once we get a majority of those votes in, we're going to close the poll and share the results. This is a hard question. I don't know which one I would pick if I had to vote. Too slow to respond, emails are too long, not providing value within the email response, personalization, I don't think it works, or do you think it's a bad subject line? Once we get, almost everyone's voted. Man, you guys are sharp today. I love when I have a strong audience. All right, audience, we're going to give you a few more seconds to get your votes in. and then we'll close this poll and share the results. Of course, I want to remind the audience, if you haven't gotten your question in for Todd or haven't come up with one yet, don't be shy, because Todd certainly isn't. He wants to hear your questions. So hopefully we'll get to those questions at the end of the presentation, and one of them will be yours. All right, Todd, are you ready to find out what the audience said?
Oh my gosh, I am holding my desk down right now.
Bursting with excitement, obviously. Okay, here we go. Thank you so much, audience, for participating in our first of 3 poll questions. Hopefully you'll join us for the next 2 as well. All right, Todd, 25%, a solid quarter of today's audience, said they believe that the biggest, most costliest follow-up fail is when we are too slow to respond. That was 25%, all right? Only 8% of today's audience said that they think a costly follow-up fail is when emails are too long. Now, by far, the majority of today's audience, a whopping 63%, think that it's not providing value within the email response. 0% said personalization, and only 4% believe that it's a bad subject line. Todd, I'm hoping you're going to tell us what the correct response actually is.
Well, your hope is my desire to fulfill. How about that? So, absolutely. You know, this is one of those questions that you can think one way, because I feel like the manufacturers are always driving into our head, respond, 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 as the most important thing. But the real reality of it is, it's not providing value in the email response. We did a great study.
What?
Yeah. Number C, not providing value in the email response.
Okay, so 63% of today's audience was correct.
All right. Yeah, we got some smart people. I mean, they get it. So, and that's a critical thing. I mean, it's that email going back to that customer better be valuable. It better be worth their time. And it better be something that they could, from a mobile device to an iPad, be able to quickly go through and get what they were looking for out of it. So,
okay.
Absolutely. Love it.
I love my smart audience.
Yep. Great audience. So for us, a lot of this came down to really trying to understand what happens for us personally after a chat conversation and the information is sent over to the dealership into the CRM, and what transpires next. How is follow-up working? So we basically went around to 53 dealers all across, different sizes, shapes, volume, to really kind of test what happened. So we tested not only chat and saw what happened with those particular leads, as well as lead form submission, and then we reviewed all the follow-up emails that we would receive from the dealers. And, you know, we do this on a regular basis with our customers just to kind of get a feel for what's working, what's not working. But we kind of did a deeper dive at the end of last year into the beginning of this year to really kind of feel what's happening. And the #1 takeaway for us was dealers were winging it. And I don't know why this graphic didn't come up correctly, but that does happen. So, you know, I had an awesome picture of a guy who's face down on his desk, but, you know, let's see. There he is.
Okay, there it is.
Yes. So, winging it, right? So here's kind of one of those things where it's just people are just sending back emails on the fly. They're not even really reading transcripts, reading the email that was sent in. They're just responding with kind of the boilerplate junk we would see all the time. And, you know, example of this, what we would get, no value provided. You know, thanks for submitting your request for more info on the Dodge Challenger. We'll be in contact with you shortly with the information. You know, if you're sending this, you shouldn't even send it. What's the point? Because to me, as a consumer, if I were to receive this, I'm probably less likely then to look if you send me another email, because you didn't answer my question. This would be like walking in a dealership and submitting information on, let's say, you know, or walking in and saying, I'd like some information on the Dodge Challenger, and they say, you know what, we'll be back with you shortly. Just hang out here. Just, you know, enjoy the showroom, and we'll come deal with you in a little bit. You would look at them like they were crazy. But we do it all the time digitally, and it's, to me, a mental disconnect for all of us. It's let's look at our processes and break them down and say, hey, are we providing value at each interaction? That is critical. So another example, personalized response. So here's one where you'll actually see, this is John with the internet team at blah, blah, blah. I want to thank you for your inquiry about the Jeep Wrangler. Goes through, here's the Jeep Wrangler MSRP minus their internet discount, rebates and incentives available, price plus tax tag title. We'd like to invite you for a test drive. So looking forward on the next step of what the consumer should do, right? If this looks good to you, what are you going to do next? I think that's one of the things. It points out two specific things inside this email for us to consider. One, addressing the specific needs of the consumer of what they requested in regard to the vehicle, and then two, creating that next step scenario. I think that's a critical piece for our success, because if you think about that, and you think about a process is a series of steps. And we have to look at our email the same way, and our correspondence with the shoppers the same way. The steps to get them in the door. It's not just, let me regurgitate and give you information. It's, here's the information, but here is what you need to do next on the journey to the showroom. And we have to think in that context of, I have a shopper who says they're interested. How do I move them into my showroom? And your emails, your phone calls, your chat conversations should all be moving the shopper through a process. And that can be done with a couple quick tools. One, I always love having templates available. And I like the framework to create consistency of messaging inside the dealership with shoppers. Once you identify and realize what works, you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel with every consumer interaction. You just need to customize it a little bit, right? So creating templates work, and more importantly, though, getting your staff to use and leverage them, and then put them into what I consider a continuous improvement process. So you're always looking to tweak them to make them better. We use a software here called TODD, which not only allows us to create templates, send out emails, but then see how people are responding to those emails, and we can make tweaks. I can tweak the opening paragraph, the bullet points, the subject line, and I can see if I'm getting more movement or more interaction. It takes this type of level of concentrated effort to ensure we're going to improve our business. The other thing is really leveraging your CRM and marketing effort inside the CRM with the back and forth with the shopper. You don't need a series of 100 emails. You only need a few good ones, right? Leverage the CRM. Don't let blanket emails go in and out of all your individual salesperson's Gmail account. You can never track anything then. You'll never know what works. You need to break it down, try to use everything within inside the CRM and the functionality, and then ultimately create all your marketing from there. This will allow you to be able to really analyze results. And to me, that's the number one thing I look at right now, is not only creating the messaging with templates, and not only then tweaking them, but then always analyzing the results. And one thing you can simply do, you can hire an intern to do this, right? If you don't have the staff on site to be able to do this, this is a great college intern project, especially a communications major. Someone who would just bite their teeth into this and go, oh, this is ideal for me. I'm trying to improve communication. So this is great for someone from college or someone, as I said, communication major seem to work really good. We use interns all the time at ActivEngage, and we have lots of success with using them. Now, we have some good colleges close to us, and I feel most dealerships have a college, even a two-year university with inside a close proximity to them that they could get access to what I consider hungry people to help them craft responses. It's one thing, you can take your marketing and sales knowledge and impart it into someone who's a good writer and communicator. After this, I really believe this is a train and retrain your team. one thing I've learned, I grew up in the retail side of our business. I really spent, I think, more time in our retail side of our business than I have as a vendor. And one of the things I always realized was you constantly have to be sharpening the saw, always improving, always training, always retraining. Everybody forgets. And it's nice to have these refresher moments on how to engage the shopper via chat conversation, or how to engage the shopper via email, or that first phone call, what to say when the customer goes, I'm interested in that 2011 Chevy Silverado, and I hear sales calls all the time. Well, that one's sold. And the customer goes, okay, well, thank you. And the guy goes, well, if you see something else, call back in. And you're like, oh my gosh, mind blown. Here was a great opportunity. A lot of times we pigeonhole the customer into the exact product they call or requested, when the majority of consumers will not buy that particular product. They'll probably go on and buy something else. So we want to keep things broad until they're face-to-face, so I can get that quick needs analysis done via phone, via email, via chat. But again, I want to get the customer in to show them what we have to meet their needs. And that will not happen if we just close down conversations and we don't have rebuttals and we don't have this stuff like what I consider on the tip of our tongue all the time. And that happens from training and retraining, where it becomes second nature for us that we are not having to think, we just act. And when you can get to that point, your sales will be much higher, you'll be much more effective in front of shoppers, and you'll be much more effective no matter what digital medium you're using. Another one I looked at, which was another email, we sent in a nice request for more information on the 2015 Mazda CX-5 touring, right? So what I got back, boom, nothing to do with what I requested. This happens all the time. And it's frustrating because I feel like nobody's just watching the store, watching the storefront. Here they're telling me about their buyer's club. Well, okay, I get that, sort of, but not really. Here's special programs, this special program, and then it goes on and on about other stuff. Though I requested information about a specific car that was in stock, I got nothing relevant to that. I got all this other stuff that is important, but not yet in the step. And that's a critical thing. Because it's not that the information is not important. You have to think on when you're inserting it in the step. And one thing I always looked at with web stuff was an opportunity where a lot of times on our home page we have, hey, get 2.9% financing, or hey, take $500 off a new car, when they haven't even landed on a vehicle yet. We would not, if someone walked into my showroom, I would not say, hey, save $500 today. Or I would not say, we have 2.9% financing today. You just wouldn't open up with something like that. First, you get the shopper landed on a car and something that they're passionate and they really like, and then you explain the option. Well, by the way, this car has 2.9%, so I'm sucking them in even more at that point. And I kind of look at this side of the businesses, and this is where I think it's a really good, and dealers should leverage what I call like a squeeze page, where once a consumer submits an offer or information on whether it was a chat or whether it was an email form, where you could then, instead of taking them to a thank you page, a generic one, or sending them back to your home page, send them to a page that has a couple alternative steps, meaning get pre-approved, get the value of your trade. Because at the point when a customer submits a lead into your store, that second, there's a little bit, the hook is in the mouth. It's not set, but it's in the mouth. How can you set it? By getting them to pre-approve for you at the store, right? Well, you obviously have interest in the CX-5. Why don't you go ahead and you have great rates and programs available today, so let's get you pre-approved right now. Or, hey, if you are trading a car, here's our quick trade-in form. Fill this information out. I can get you an accurate trade appraisal, so when you walk in, you won't have to waste time. Using these squeeze pages can really help you put relevant content at the consumer at just the right moment. Another thing we learned as we went through were really all leads are not the same.
Aw.
and they need to be followed up. I know everyone loves puppies, right? So puppies sell, man.
Puppies and kittens. It's all about puppies and kittens.
Yeah, I know. Over here at the ActivEngage Puppy Mill, we have learned some very important things. So, one of the things that we wanted to really be able to share with you is taking the time to stop and follow some steps. Read the chat transcript. Read any additional notes that were in the email form. Take the time to really try to understand the consumer's needs before you speak. It's that whole concept that, my mom always yells at me that, Todd, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so listen twice as much as you talk. And I feel that we need to read and understand our customers' needs before we just want to respond and try to sell them a car. Because once we connect with their needs, it's much easier than to connect with them personally. So read the transcript, think before you type anything or send a quick note back. Relevancy will always win. So another thing that I liked on this, here, Todd, thanks for your inquiry about 2005 Mazda. You'll see kind of highlighted right there. I've attached some pictures for you, which is nice, because obviously he was looking at a pre-owned car, so he sent some pictures along. This is great. Vehicle's in excellent shape. You could have sent a link to a video here as well. If you wanted to go that far and create that level of personalization. They could even use my name in the video, right? Hey, Todd, wanted to send you a quick video, show you the car in a little bit more detail. It's excellent shape. Boom. Now they're saying, hey, if you come in for a test drive, give you a free gas card as well. It's a different perk. So now they're trying to incentivize me. And you like to stop by today or Friday. I always found giving consumers 2 and only 2 options to be the most effective. And it's interesting because a study was done at UMass years ago where they put a camera for sale in the window of a storefront. So what happened? Obviously, camera sales rose. So they put a second camera for sale in the window. Camera sales for both cameras went up. They put a third camera for sale in the window. Camera sales went to nothing. And through the study and analysis, they learned that the human mind can't process more than 2 things. So it's white or black, on or off, day or night. And when you add that third element, usually the mind slows down and shuts down and then wants to go back and think. So we've all had this experience. How many times have you walked out on a lot, showed a customer a car, showed them another car, they got really excited about the car, but you kept showing them cars, and all of a sudden they go, I want to go home and think about this. At that moment, you lost them. You put too much into their mind, and you paralyzed them. So think of your emails, your chats. You're not looking to paralyze the consumer. You're only looking to get them to the next step. So, Eliana, pull time!
Okay. Thank you, Todd. That was wonderful. This is a fabulous introduction to our second poll question, 2nd out of 3 poll questions today. Audience, we want you to get involved. All right, so your second poll question is up on the screen now, and it is, when was the last time you or someone on your team tested your email follow-up templates and process? Ooh, good question. Please select one of the following. Was it today, within the last week or so, within the last month or 2, less than a year ago, or never? Once we get a majority of those votes in, we're going to close the poll and share the results. And by the way, we have some great questions that have come in from the audience. So thank you so much, audience. We are going to get to those questions right after Todd is done with his formal presentation. And no, it was definitely white and gold. The dress was white and gold, but thank you for asking, Jim. Okay, once we get a majority, the votes are still coming in. I'm going to give you a couple more seconds to get your votes in, and then we'll close this poll and share the results. We did have Jim write in, and he was a little bit distressed about one of your earlier slides, Todd. He said that there was a Jeep, on the one where the Jeep was for sale, and it said that the discount from the dealership was going to be, what did he say? The discount from the dealership was $26,499 because it said it was the discount. So he thinks that they should have proofread a little better. I don't know if you noticed it even.
Yeah, I think it got cut off. I think it was discounted. It's supposed to be discounted price.
Discounted price.
It might not have transferred over. So.
I got you, Jim. Fret not. But I love the eyes on the board.
Good
Thank you so
good
much.
Eyes, man.
Good eyes.
Devil's
Good eyes.
in the detail, man. Devil's in the detail.
All right, audience, you guys rock. Thank you so much for voting on our second poll question. Let's see what we have today. Okay, so 14% of today's audience said, hey, they just did it today. 23% of today's audience, almost a quarter, said that they did it within the last week or so. 26% of today's audience, that's the majority, said within the last month or two. 21% said less than a year ago, sometime within the last year. And 16% of today's audience admit they have never done it. Todd?
Hey, I love it. You know, there's no right answer, right? But there's just the truth in the matter. This is something that we should all be paying attention to. It doesn't have to happen on a daily basis, but, I mean, weekly, monthly, you should at least break down one of your templates, look for the results. Are they working or not? To me, this is a continuous improvement business, and we just have to, you know, pay attention to what's going on as we go. You know, one of the things I love in my experience here recently, you know, as I said, we sent out to 53 dealers for just a little spot check, and this is the type of stuff I got back. And as you see, I received a review request for the insert. Yeah, they forgot to insert anything. Love this one. This is one of my faves. Another one, good evening salutation. I was like, and then NP, right? Because there was no name provided. Yeah. I was like, that's awesome. Thanks for visiting we obviously protected the guilty in this one. Website this evening and for your interest in our nice 2008 blah, blah, blah. So I love my new name is Salutation or NP. So, you know, just call me Salutation, Eliana. That's my new go-to.
Thank you,
love
Salutation.
This one too. Since you were shopping for your next vehicle, I'm sure you received countless emails from other dealers, each one saying they will offer you the best ever experience. We say the same thing. However, we don't want you to take our word for it. Listen to what just a few of our customers have to say about their experience at Dealer Need.
Oh,
Awesome.
I thought you were kidding. They didn't put the dealer name in there?
This is real. This is real. This is real and now. So, you know, I always say, why is the personalization not working in your emails, Dealer Name? So, yeah. This is like, listen, again, devil's in the detail, right? I mean, that's what this is about. So we need to really pay attention to what's going on. You know your CRM, know the limitations, know the functionality. I mean, to me, this is your car. This is your engine. Keep it tuned up. Keep it running well. You know, you don't need 4,000 templates, right? You'll never send them all out. And what's ultimately going to happen is you'll have 10,000 undone tasks inside your system. That's not going to help any salespeople in your organization. You want to keep things simple, fluid, and what works. So, things, to me, testing one at a time. You know, if you test subject line, don't test the subject line, personalization, and special offers at the same time. You'll never know what worked or didn't work. It could have been any of those things. It could have been all of those things. It could have been none of those things and just timing of when you sent out the emails. So break it down and do your testing in the sense of more split testing, test a subject line against another one. Test links that you embed in there, personalization. How does your thing look on a phone? If consumers have to scroll and scroll to read your emails going to them, it will never happen. One thing I have learned, lots of studies have said, people do not read online anymore. They skim. So write all your emails for skimming, not for in-depth novel, Robert Frost type reading. So one of those quick things, special offer as well.
You got something against Robert Frost. Okay.
No,
Hey,
I love Robert Frost.
I'm totally kidding. But I do have a question. If you say that people should be doing this A/B split testing and stuff like that, I think it's absolutely they should be doing that. How long do you think the testing period should last? Is it enough just to do it for a week, or do you really need more? Do you need to do it for a few weeks, a month?
To me, it's the volume of leads coming in and out of the store, right? You're going to need well over, I like minimum of 100, prefer 200, 300.
Mm-hmm.
That way I get a much better feel. So
Gotcha.
if you're a high-volume dealer, you can do more tests more frequently. If you're a low-volume dealer, you'll do less tests. That's all.
Okay.
Someone like Amazon with their volume of traffic, they do over 10,000 tests a year, but they have the traffic to afford that. Average car dealer on a typical dealer website with 3,000 to 5,000, 6,000 website visitors, you're probably testing, once a month. So, but that's still 12 good tests a year. Do 6 tests a year. Do 3 tests a year. Just start. To me, that's the critical thing. I don't feel enough dealers are investing in their follow-up testing and understanding to improve it. They just go to other dealers and try to copy what they're doing. And unfortunately, nobody says that that's right or it works. A lot of times we feel we get our best ideas from, I really like what they did over there, there's no quantifiable data that says that worked or didn't work. You have to be your own steward and captain in this. And what I mean by that is invest the time in your business. Invest the time in what you're doing and stop the distraction of looking at others. Focus on what you can do and change on a daily basis. And that can have profound effects. And without further ado, Eliana, bringing back the final polling question.
I'm just letting you know, I will never, ever forget about this webinar. Okay, audience, your final poll question. Thank you so much for participating in the first 2, but here's our last one. So finish up strong, we hope. Okay, we want to know, how much have you been paying attention to the news? According to Google, what % of shoppers visited a dealership after watching a video? Ooh, good question. Let's see if you guys know the right answer. Please select one of the following. Do you think it was 25%, 32%, 40%, 49%, or 56%? Let's see if this rings a bell to you. According to Google, what % of shoppers visited a dealership right after watching a video? Honestly, I'd be happy with any of those. If all it took was a video to get somebody to actually jump in their car and come to my dealership, I think any of those would be wonderful. But there is one correct answer. So if you can, click that radio button that's on your screen. Thank you so much for writing in the answer. But I actually need you to do it on the screen if you can. But thank you. Appreciate you. And also, if you haven't gotten in your questions for Todd Smith, do it now. We're going to be coming up to the end of his presentation soon, and we'd love to address your questions and your situations that are in your dealership. All right, audience, you guys are wonderful. So according to Google, what % of shoppers visited a dealership after watching a video? 25%, 32%, 40%, 49%, or 56%? Well, you know what? We're going to find out right now. Are you ready, Todd?
I'm waiting on you.
Okay, let's go then. All right. 4% of today's audience think it's 25%. 17% of today's audience think it's more like 32%. 19% of today's audience, they say it's 40%. 26% of today's audience say it's 49%. And the majority, 34% of today's audience, think it's as high as 56%. So, Todd, what is the right answer?
Man, did everyone Google that? No, just kidding. Okay, but the actual right answer is 49%.
Aha, 49%.
49%.
Okay. Who are
watching a video?
Fancy, super smart people today that got the 49%? 26% of you got that right. Congratulations. All right, let's go back to your screen.
Okay, so 49%, you're on my screen. Great. This is like where awesome products like, walk around video can have a huge impact. It drives consumers. Why? Because they can see it. And seeing people, believe it or not, people are very visual. I think probably one of the best examples of someone who was able to master and leverage video before she left was over at Sunset, Elise, I think she did a phenomenal job, right? She really understood how to leverage and connect with people via video. And I think that's, again, a profound thing for you to be able to use in your daily efforts. So like walk around videos, perfect, right? Product like that, you just want to be able to engage and get shoppers to really take the next step. To me, one thing that I like about delivering consumer video is they realize you took the effort for them. You did not just send them a picture. You did not just send them an email. You did not just call them on the phone. You walked out, you shot a quick video, and you sent it to them. So to me, consumers do have new expectations, right? Quick response. So deliver the quality response. Quick is 1/10 of the piece of the puzzle, right? Speed, yes, but quality outweighs it so much more. Answer my questions, Read the lead information. Just provide what they're looking for, because that should lead to more questions. It should lead to you being able to control the experience and conversation with the shopper, because you're not going to be able to answer everything. Some questions lead to a lot more questions. And when you're asking the questions, you're in control. Give them real incentives to buy from you. What makes you different? Elise, it was obviously video and connecting with her shoppers via video. Build your relevant competitive advantage. This is you. What will you do to stand out? Not what your competitors are doing, not what other guys are doing. You can take little bits of it, but you need to create and put your own stake in the sand of what you are going to do to be successful. And customer service. Remove your sales hat at this part of the relationship with the shopper. Whether it's on chat, whether it's on email, whether it's on phone, don't try to sell them. Try to connect with them. Try to build rapport. Try to establish that connectivity that you have trust to get the shopper to go and come into the dealership. That's what you're trying to do. So, but when you put that sales hat on that says, hey, why don't you just come on down, or hey, can I get your phone number in case we get disconnected? Man, they smell that. And we smell that, right? We've been in these experiences as well. And if we really want to be successful, we want to ultimately give a much higher level of service that consumers want to do business with us. We want to go beyond what the average dealer person is willing to do. So remember, takeaways. Think about the customer expectation when you're working on your templates. What do customers really want? Build good framework. Always provide that value, relevant content. Look at every one of your emails today, tomorrow, this week, before the weekend. If it's not adding value, just throw it away. Only use what's relevant and adding value. Start testing some email templates, right? See how often the emails get opened, right? See what kind of response you get from particular ones. And start trying to play with video. And know your CRM inside and out. This will have a magical effect on your ability to be successful. To me, it's like you would not be a successful race car driver unless you know the inner workings of everything that car can do to perform. You know when the tires are going to slip out. You know the horsepower. You know how the car is going to handle in turns. You know its braking capabilities. You have to know what you're working with inside and out. So one of the things we also set up, if you go to our ActivEngage.com/lead follow-up, we have some additional resources available that we made available there. Just again, to try to help you guys and just help improve the experience, right? That's our big goal, right? This is something that, is it core to our business? To a degree, yes, because our interest is helping connect dealers with shoppers, but then also help the dealer and the consumer really get an engagement out of that, right? It's not just sending the dealer a chat lead. How can we go beyond that? So we're trying to help our dealers just move the needle, connect more with the shopper using relevant data, better email type template structure, and ultimately take off the sales hat, put on the customer service hat. So right now, I have some time for questions. Eliana, I'm bringing you back. You are my question guru.
You got that right. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Audience, if you haven't written in your questions yet, well, now would be a great time to do so. We are going to get to your questions right after we give away a prize. That's right. I'm going to put my Monty Hall hat on. We're going to give away an awesome prize. If you missed it at the beginning of the webinar, well, I announced that our good friends at ActivEngage giving away a really incredible prize to one lucky attendee today on the webinar. ActivEngage's team is going to secretly shop your dealership by submitting various leads through sources such as your website, live chat, bunch of third parties, that kind of thing. Based on the follow-up correspondence ActivEngage receives from your team, they're going to make you a detailed report that's going to include screenshots, emails received, and details of processes that they believe can be improved upon, and also emails that totally rocked it. So this undercover experience is valued at just under $600. It's a great prize for your dealership. So if you want to win this, then get ready, get to your keyboards. First person to write in the correct response is going to be winning this awesome prize today. Good luck, everyone. I want to say, of course, any vendors out there, please do me a favor, sit this one out. Of course, this prize is intended for dealership personnel only. We thank you in advance. We appreciate you, but it really is for dealerships. All right, everyone, here we go. Good luck. Why is it on poll question? I want to let you know, you had to be here early to catch this, the answer to this, or you have to know ActivEngage pretty well. He did say it, all right? So if you weren't here early enough, but a majority of you were because I checked and made sure. Okay, good luck, everyone. ActivEngage's managed chat team is located in what two U.S. cities? Two cities we're looking for. Two. If you haven't, nope, you didn't get it yet. Keep going. They're all guessing at once. No, give me two cities. Two cities. Oh, okay, so I see people writing in one at a time. It's not as easy. Oh, wait, I think we got it. Yep, we have one person. No, we have two people who got the right response and sent them both in the same time. But the first one to do so is...
That's okay, I know. If you have two, we'll be two. We're good. Over AE, hey, it's a sunny, beautiful day in Florida. We're going to share some sunshine with everyone.
What city is it? That's right. Well, Jessica Agee, or Agee, I don't know how to say it, but Jessica, you're our winner. She got it. Orlando and Las Vegas, baby. Jessica, you are our winner today. You were the first one to write in both of those correct responses. I'm writing down your name. Jessica, do me a favor, babe. Write in. Let me know what dealership you're from so I can give you a proper congratulations. I'm wondering, were you here early? Did you actually hear him say it, or do you just know ActivEngage? I'm just curious. But thank you so much, everyone, for playing along. And I love how people get all kinds of angry when they don't win our prizes. I apologize. But you know what? Jessica, you're our winner. Congratulations. I still haven't heard back from Jessica yet. Thank you, everyone, for playing along. Don't forget, we give away prizes every week. So if you want to win a prize, you should come back next week and the week after and the week after that. We give away prizes every week. Today, it's Jessica's turn. Actually, I don't remember ever hearing Jessica's name on my screen as a winner. So congratulations. You're probably a first-time winner. She says, awesome. I'm in Helena, Montana. Helena Motors is our dealership, and I was here early on. So she actually did get to hear it. Congratulations, Jessica. You're awesome. And, of course, we want to also thank our good friends at ActivEngage for their incredible generosity. That was a lot of fun. All right, audience. Now we're going to get to your questions. Like I said, if you haven't written in your questions yet, now's a great time to do it. We're going to get to our first question. Todd, are you ready for this?
Always ready for questions.
All right, how about this? Let's go to the slide with your handsome mugshot on it. And let's turn on that webcam so people can see that you're actually real and you're not a robot.
Oh.
You're not a robot, are you? There we are. See, he is real. Okay, your first question comes to you from Troy. Troy is really desperate to hear your question on this. He asked me twice. So we have to give this man, and he wasn't the only one who actually asked it either. He says, Todd, do you think all automated emails going to the customers should just be stopped. John was with him. John also wrote in. He says, my question is, how do you feel about autoresponders? Kind of the same thing. So, Todd, tell me what you really feel. Do you think autoresponders or automated emails, are they worth it or no?
I'm not a big automated responder person. I think it can really confuse shoppers and can set up ultimately a bad experience. And I'll just give you a couple examples. One, let's say you have a great live chat with the customer, right? And you chat for 10 minutes. And then you push it to the CRM. Well, that triggers an auto response that says, hey, thank you for your inquiry. We'll be following up soon. That's a massive disconnect now with the shopper, right? They're getting this email like, okay, I had a conversation. He's getting me information. Now I get this crap. So that's a bad disconnect. I understood the idea of having it after hours. You know, still not a very big user of autoresponders. Now, if it's going to take a while to get to the shopper, which can happen, right? I like to have a very short email that looks like it came from my phone. Meaning like, hey, Todd, I just got your information. I'm looking it up right now. Give me a few minutes. And then in my signature it says sent from iPhone. So you can actually tweak your messaging in your CRM to make it look like it came from an iPhone or an Android or whatever. So that's the only, I use that tool or would use that tool much more than I would ever try to rely on autoresponders. Plus, another issue that I don't like about autoresponders, I think it makes us naturally lazy enough to say, well, they got that instant response, I don't need to rush to get them all the real data. Well, I want to keep the pressure on getting them the most accurate stuff to get them to take the next step up front. So autoresponders to me make us a little lazy, so if I can eliminate that, I want to do that.
Thank you so much, Todd. Troy, John, and everyone else who was wondering about the same thing, I hope you like that answer. Certainly if you have a follow-up question, please write it on in and let me know. And Todd, for some reason, as soon as you turned on your webcam, your audio went into the crapper. I have no idea why, but you don't sound nearly as clear as you were before. Just giving you a heads up. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why either. Okay, let's get to this next question. Actually, Troy did have a follow-up question. He wasn't the only one either. Stacy is matching his question as well. They want to know, what was the name of the software that you had mentioned earlier that you use for email measurement?
Oh, so we use a thing called TODD, which links onto our sales force.
Oh boy, I can't even hear you. What did you say?
We use, it's called TODD, P-A-R-D-O-T, and it actually is linked onto our sales force. So it's kind of an email marketing / measurement platform.
Okay, PARDOT, P-A-R-D-O-T.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to put it, yeah, I don't know what's going on with your audio right now. It's you.
All right. You want me to kill the camera?
Yeah, kill the camera and see if your audio goes back to normal.
Okay, how's my audio now? Is that better?
No.
No.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of static on there. It's like yeah. Troy wrote in, it sounds like running water. I have to agree with him.
I do not have nothing.
There's a lot of, I don't know why, but there's a lot of background noise all of a sudden.
The phone number?
I don't know.
Pulling up, I'll just call in and then I'll switch the thing.
Jeff Kirshner wrote in, he said, Todd's on the beach. His office is on the beach.
Yeah.
It does sound like he's on the beach. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's, Todd, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, let's get to some more of these questions because we do have a lot of people on the line waiting for some answers from you, my friend. Okay? Does sound a little better. Okay, so this next question is from Linda. Oh, Linda is calling you out. Onto the mat. She says, writing for skimming, do you have an example? Is this a case where you could bold the important information? How do you write for skimming, Todd?
You know, that's a great question, right?
Here we go. Now I have audio, telephone. Okay, how's that?
Much better. Thank you.
Better?
Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Now, how do you write for skimming? Short. And what I mean by short, don't let any, I usually go no more than 3 lines per section. So, you know, if you have a thought, your paragraph should not be more than 3 lines quick. When I say writing for skimming, the idea is short, sweet. Use bullet points instead of explaining something in 5 sentences. If I can eliminate words, you always want to eliminate the words. You want to focus on the quality of the content and getting it to the consumer, not the verbose, you know, I'm going to write this big novel to the shopper that they're never going to read. So there's a great guy, a copywriter I love. His name is Bob Bly, B-L-Y. He's probably one of the best copywriters on the planet, does tons of work for American Express and all the big companies. And he's written a couple books, but he does have some stuff in there to just help you kind of fine-tune your writing to ensure that it's, you know, what I consider spot on. Because I think writing for digital is much different than writing, you know, for print or something where people are actually sitting, relaxing, and reading. I think writing for digital, people are on the go. They're just reading their email quickly. They want to skim it. They're not interested in, you know, a deep dive.
I got you. Okay. She specifically said, do you think it would help if they bold important information? I love, Linda,
Absolutely.
I love that idea. Gets my attention.
Yes, we love bolding, but not too much, right? This is that balancing act, because us as marketers and salespeople, we have a tendency to overindulge ourselves, and we end up bolding half the whole email or putting stuff in all caps, or, you know, you have to use these things sparsely because you want to use it at the most important point of emphasis, and that is it.
I agree. All right, Linda, if you have a follow-up question, we'd love to hear back from you again. For those of you who were asking about a link to this recorded webinar, yeah, I'm going to send that out in just a bit after today. So you'll get it before 5 o'clock p.m. this evening. All right. It's also going to be posted online at dealeron.com/webinar, where you click on the recorded webinars link, and it'll be right at the top. Most recent is always at the top. So we will be sending you that recording link. All right. Thank you so much for asking about that. All right. Your next question, Todd, if you are ready to accept it, comes from Kate. Kate says, do you like dealer-specific videos or brand videos, or both, or neither? Todd?
Okay, do I like dealer-specific videos, brand videos, or both?
Or neither.
That's correct, or neither. You know, I like videos that are much more salesperson and dealership specific than brand. The brand stuff's, to me, frequently all over the web already, so there's nothing unique about that content. So I think that if you're going to leverage video, if you can personalize it, has much more impact and power than using the generic video, like, you know, bits that are available for dealers to use that's being provided from the OEM. So in my opinion, I would always lean towards the unique, personalized salesperson dealership video versus using any other content.
Excellent. Kate, love that answer. If you have, we do have a follow-up question that came in from David. He says, well, how about customer-specific videos? Do you like a customer-specific video?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's think about that. I mean, let's just put ourselves in the customer mindset for 2 seconds here. You are excited. You're going to buy a, I don't know, Audi Q7 sport utility vehicle, right? You're very excited. You want to get one of these, but you just don't know what store to get it from yet. And you sent out some information because you can configure one online and get basic pricing. And you send out 3 emails, okay? And the first email you get back is the typical salutation autoresponder. So you're like, what the heck? This is weird. The second one says, hey, Todd, you know, I see you're interested in a Q7. I'll work on the information and I'll send it over to you right away. Third is a short video. It's a link. Basically says, hey, Todd, I know you're interested in the Q7. I wanted to show you a couple of the features of it, show you the amazingness of this vehicle. And by the way, we have the XX program available that ends on Friday. So here's who I am. Here's my face. Here's my phone number. Give me a call right now, and we'll set up a scheduled test drive. Either I'll bring it to your house, your work, or you can come into the store. What would you respond to? Now,
is this a rhetorical question?
Yeah, it is, right? Because it's hands down. That personal connectivity is powerful. And we have to think in terms of how to connect one-on-one with the shopper. And video is a masterful tool for that.
I absolutely agree. David says thank you. A couple last-minute things. We did get a request. Can we get a copy of the slide deck? Why, yes, you can. I don't normally send it out because it is an extraordinarily large file. But if you want it and you think your email can handle this big, huge file, then email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com, and I will get that out to you as soon as I can. eliana@dealeron.com to ask me for the slide deck. All right? Thank you so much. And last comment came in from today's winner, Jessica. She says, thank you. I try to attend weekly if the webinar pertains to my BDC role, but I am super excited we won and now have a chance to improve what we are doing right now. So, Todd, you're going to have somebody get in touch with her quick because she obviously wants this ASAP.
Kelly will take care of that.
Well, Todd, thank you so much. You have been extraordinarily entertaining and, of course, as always, brilliant. Thank you so much. I loved what you had to say today, and hopefully we'll get you back on the show sometime real soon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I was going to sing to you, but I was like, oh, man. So.
Everything is awesome. No,
yes,
okay.
Everything is awesome. Yes, that's how it works.
Well, you heard the man. Everything was awesome. Of course, we're just at the top of the hour. Any questions that weren't answered during the time allotted are going to be answered by email later today. I want to remind the audience, yes, we're going to put that link to download a copy of today's webinar recording in an email to you later today for your reference. Please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. It's also going to be available online within 24 hours. All you have to do is go to dealeron.com/webinars. You can view our upcoming webinar schedule and sign up for those, or you can access any of our past webinars. Just click on the link on the right-hand side for on-demand webinars. Also, this webinar is going to close in just another minute, and you're going to get a short survey. We want to know what you thought about Todd Smith's presentation, so please fill it out. We're always looking for quality feedback from our audience. Today we're going to randomly select a couple of people from all those completed surveys to also win some Google prizes. Awesome. All right, Todd, you can move the slides forward a little bit because
sure.
I got an important message to tell all of you.
Okay.
Even one more. Invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next webinar, Activating Your Dealership's Voice for More Leads, More Sales, and More Moolah. And this one is going to be with two incomparable automotive ladies, Kate Frost and Renee Stewart. Leading dealerships in the industry know that the most relevant and engaging content a business can share with its target audience is contributed by those who know the brand, product, and the customer best. That's right, your employees. So activating your team to advocate on behalf of your brand gives your employees the opportunity to share their professional expertise and receive recognition for their unique contributions while garnering brand loyalty and more customers for your dealership. Dude, that is a win-win if ever I've heard one. Is your dealership truly capitalizing on their best assets and biggest advocates? Well, join us for this thrilling one-hour webinar as we bring you two of the best and brightest consultants in the biz, Kate Frost and Renee Stewart. Together, they will discuss how you can implement an employee brand advocacy program to expand your company's social presence and allow your business to have a much larger footprint than what your marketing manager is capable of on their own. It's time to engage your people, get more leads, and sell and service more cars. So if you're ready to learn how to enlist your employees to advocate on behalf of your dealership's brand by activating your dealership's voice for more leads, more sales, and more money, then you can't miss this incredible presentation. So don't forget, Dealer On's weekly webinars are held Thursdays, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions regarding these webinars and our topics, please contact me directly. Again, my name is Eliana Raggio. I'd love to hear from you, so track me down online. I'm everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. I'm on every automotive social network out there, or you can email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today, and boy, oh boy, I hope I see you all on another webinar on Dealer On's continuing education series. Take care and have yourselves a good one.